So I'm Coach Ilika Follette, Body and Business Mindset Mastery Coach, and I'm here with Coach Lauren LC with Thrive with LC, and we're so excited about today because we are talking about a major collaboration. We're really helping women to we're helping people to understand how your health improves your wealth, right? It's all about mindset over mess. And this is a series that we'll be doing every Thursday at 1 p.m., talking about mindset over mess and how your health improves your wealth. So we're going to, right now, we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And we're also adding Clubhouse to this because we felt like, you know what? Let's talk to a good sized audience to really get this message across. And so that's why we decided to go live in all these different spaces. So we're going to be taking a second to go live on Clubhouse. And when we do, we'll be able to get all the messages. But let us know when you're in here. Um, Let us know when you are live so we can get this conversation going. I want to know if you are watching it live or watching it on replay. All right. So we are hopping in on Clubhouse really, really soon. And I'm just so excited about this conversation and this connection. So, Lauren, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, we're waiting to get live on Clubhouse. I'm waiting for it to come through on my end. There we go. All right, perfect. So now, yes, we are live in the right spaces now. Now we're live on Clubhouse. We're live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So this is a powerhouse duo, powerhouse connection, and powerhouse conversation. Because I think that so many people don't understand how your health can improve your wealth, right? So improving your health really can improve your wealth. So I'll quickly introduce myself and then pass it off to Lauren so she can introduce herself. So I'm Ilika, Coach Ilika Follette. I'm a mind, I'm a body and business mindset mastery coach, and I help women who are overworked, overwhelmed, and frankly over the excess weight, so that they can work less, live more, and feel better without the excess burnout. And so I take them through a process to do that. Um, that was weird. I just got a random call on my phone. So we take them through a
I can't
process
hear
to
you
do
anymore, Clubhouse.
so we take them through a process to do that, and so we've decided that what we're bringing, will be really helpful to an entire body of women. And so Lauren and I decided to partner, and Lauren's going to introduce herself now, so we can discuss the partnership, and then we're going to go through discussing the partnership and really discussing how this whole concept of mindset over mess, even MESS is listed out MESS. So M.E.S.S. And the reason is because that breaks down into an even larger message. So Lauren, I'm going to pass it over to you to introduce yourself as well.
Absolutely. So, hello, everyone. We are getting all of our tech bearings down here because we are live, as they said, here on Clubhouse, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. So, I feel very accomplished right now because we got all this together. But I am Lauren LC, your favorite gut health bestie. I am a certified holistic health coach, a wellness tribe builder for Hervival. So, I'm the founder of Hervival. I lead wellness and self care enrichment workshops and resources to provide for women, particularly specializing in gut health and mindset. And I help powerhouse overachieving women that do all the work to be able to show for things, but need to get back to pouring into themselves. So I love to help women in that way. Like I said, I'm a tech founder, so I found Hervival, which is the first all-in-one holistic wellness, fitness, and spirituality app for women of color. And yeah, as a certified digestive health coach, I just really like to focus on utilizing the importance of a holistic approach. My approach is everything holistic and realistic, and being able to help women who is recovering from burnout to have better gut health, balanced hormones, and aligned vibrating energy through food and chakra alignment. So that's a bit of what I do. And for those who are here on Clubhouse, drop in the chats where you're tuning in from. We see people from Carlton, Georgia. Hello, Kim. We got some comments. Dr. Tony, hello, hello. How we think matters. Have a great discussion. Just to check out the later. Awesome. Thank you.
Hmm. Yes, and oh,
Right.
exactly. And it's such a good discussion because when we think about our wealth, right? Many entrepreneurs, especially, and in general, tend to the look at the wealth and think, "Oh, I'm starting my business, and this is so important." And so, a ton of the time is spent with creating your business, with growing your business. And when that happens, what tends to fall by the wayside is your health. And so now you're working 10-hour days, 12-hour days, and along that process, the intake, the nourishment that you're bringing in is essentially crap, right? It's just whatever you can find, whatever you can grab on the run, however you can like get it in your mouth, and then you're off to the next thing. And that's causing issues with clarity. It's causing issues uh, with productivity, right? Have you ever been in a situation? I always think about this because when we talk about this, we talk about our personal stories as well. And so this essentially was me. So I'll give you like a quick background. About 6, 7 years ago, I was roughly 350 pounds, somewhere in that range, and over time, basically using uh, nourishing myself. Well, let me tell you who I was then. I was 350 pounds, close to 350 pounds, and I have 4 kids, mom of 4. So all of my time was taken, right? I was taking kids to every activity. I was eating, on the drive. So we'd stop at Burger King, Wendy's, whatever, Chick-fil-A, which was our favorite place. We would stop. That's what we ate, right? And drop them off. While we were there, I was usually working, whether it be swim lessons or whatever. I had my computer with me. I was in corporate America, but I was still working. I had my either my computer or my phone with me, and I'm working, 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 right? And so what was happening was I was beating myself up. Not necessarily even mentally in that space. I didn't realize I was beating myself up. Physically, I was beating myself up because my body was being nourished with things that it shouldn't have been. So I was tired all the
Alika,
time.
try to
Okay.
adjust your headphones. She said you're a little hard to hear.
Ooh. Okay. Let me get this back. Okay. Let me see if you can hear me. Can you hear me now? I might have
Yeah,
it on the
that's a
wrong
little
side.
better.
Is it? Because I feel like I got it on the wrong side. Let me just
Yeah,
pull it
try bringing
right
it
on
front.
over.
Thank you,
I tried
Kelly.
to I tried to move that out of the way so it wasn't so on the camera it looked better. But if you can't hear me, I need to just do what I need to do.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
So
Good. You sound
I
good.
was tired all the time and I didn't feel good. I had no energy. And I found myself doing things like I was snappy, I was short with everyone. My hormones were off. And I didn't feel like myself. I remember saying that over and over again. I don't feel like myself. And so I knew I needed a change. And over about a year's time, I, changed the way I nourish my body. So I ate in a different way, really a whole foods keto way of eating. So when I did it, it was before everything in the store said keto, right? I don't eat the things in the store that say keto. I essentially eat on the outside of the stores, right? So that's what we talk about. So that's how I nourish myself. And drinking a ton of water, exercise, and then really those mindset shifts that needed to happen. Because what I realized is what was truly holding me back, being on diets from the time I was 8 years old, was my mindset. And so that's what we will be talking about quite a bit in the mindset over madness conversations. Is how do we step through that? Ooh, did I lose you guys? Because I don't know where I am
No,
on
you're still
Clubhouse.
here. You're still here.
Okay,
I hear you.
Clubhouse. But yeah, so
We
that was a
got a
big
lot
piece.
going on, y'all, but we making sure that this message is being heard because, like we talked about this often, a lot of times people don't talk about the mindset. They just talk about the mechanics of everything, of what it takes to lose weight, because you're just focusing on weight loss, right? And no one's talking about like the things that you just said, eating on the outside of the store, understanding and reading how to understanding how to read the labels, how your lifestyle and where you said you were beating yourself up, how that affects you hormonally and your nervous system. And I remember you talking about when we talked and we were curating this whole conversation where you said you kept recycling the same weight over and over, losing it and gaining it back, losing it and gaining it back. And
Mm,
these are the things, this is what the mess is. A lot of us have the mess. And like for me, I was like on the other side dealing with my mess and how it affect my nervous system hormonally, and I end up being diagnosed with 2 autoimmunes. So I was about 25 pounds more than what I am. I'm pretty short. I'm a short stack. So like I'm literally like 3 stacks of pancakes. That's as tall as I am. So I literally I probably reached the most about 150 for my height of being only 5'2". That's a lot, but I never looked like I was struggling with my weight, right? But I had, when you look at my face and pictures, I had a lot of inflammation. I didn't understand I was having an inflammation problem. And I had the same experience as you, Alika. Like I was a fitness trainer. Way before, I never even knew. I always ate like quick snacks and things just to keep me full, not understanding nutrition, not understanding hormones. And I was snippy, snappy, headache, having headaches, tired, lethargic. I always needed a nap after I ate. I just thought when you were tired after you ate, that mean the food was good. I didn't understand that that is a hormonal trigger right there. So I was just like, that food was good. I'm going to take a nap. So I didn't gather and understand what my body was trying to communicate with me because I didn't have mindfulness. I didn't understand hormones. And I was caught in my mess, just trying to do and get what I need to do. I'm from New York. So like I was always on the go, hustle bustle, sleeps for suckers. That was my mess and my type of mindset, right? So I had more of a hustle mindset and not understanding my nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system versus this the synthetic, not sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system. I didn't gather the understandings of fight or flight versus rest and digest, right? Until I end up getting into fitness as a fitness trainer. I looked all fit and good for the gram. I actually lost weight, so I thought I was doing something, but I didn't gather and understand I was beating my body down. In so many ways. I would work out like twice a day. I would literally have to get up at like 5 in the morning, had to be the clients at 6, and I would be up on my feet all day till 11 o'clock at night when I get home. So that was such a strain on my body. And I just thought, I work out, I can eat what I want, right? I was all into the calories in versus the law of thermodynamics, calories in, calories out. And I looked good on the outside, but my gut health was having extreme. I was always having gas and bloating. We thought it was funny to have protein farts, right? And gas bloated. Like we just thought that that was the thing, right? Like you're working hard up. That's what it is. You're just gonna be bloated. I didn't, and then I started having excruciating pain, like standing by, like it literally couldn't feel two of my toes, my heels. And then I started to like look a little more under the hood. So literally I had like this nice car, right? I looked good on the outside, but my engine, my transmission was about to blow, meaning my gut health. And I had to gather and have a full understanding what was happening. And it was a mindset shift that I had to do. I had to make some shifts and understandings of what was I doing? What was I eating? Like I said, my nervous system was in extreme fight or flight. I was always hustling on the go, got to get to clients. I really wasn't having adequate rest. Like we know these are the things you're supposed to do, but like I'm helping people, I'm getting my clients, I'm making money. You can understand I was making good money, but no one talks about how your health impacts your wealth when your health is not in good state, right? Because I would have times where I would have chronic pain, right? I can't get out of bed. Later, long story short, I had to understand that I ended up having thyroid problems because when I started having extreme body acne, hair falling out and breaking, and I always had long, thick hair. So that's when I started like, what is going on with myself? What's happening? And then later, it took a while because of course they look at me, you're healthy. And that's a whole nother story about Black women in the health and like, talking to doctors, but they're like, oh, you're healthy, you're fine, your heart's fine. And no one ever looked at my thyroids. It took a while for me to get a diagnosis that I ended up being diagnosed with 2 autoimmunes. And my body was literally fighting itself. So I had to get over my mess. And that's what we want to talk about. How the mindset it's like overachieve the mess that we particularly go through. And we want to talk about what that mess is. And I'll yield my mic. Oh, can't hear you, Alika.
Sorry, I got kicked out for a second. Can you hear me?
Let's see where you at.
Oh, I'm on.
There you go.
I'm on mute. I got kicked out for a second, and now I think it just took me off of Clubhouse. I mean, took me out.
No, you're here.
Okay, somehow my there we go. Can you? Okay, now this is working.
Yeah, we can
Connect.
hear you.
Okay,
Now we
my
can. Now
headphones
we
weren't.
can.
Okay, my headphones are doing weird stuff. Oh my goodness. Of course. Um, so yeah, I sorry I got kicked out for a second, but let me see. I just want to make sure that it's not coming through twice. Can you guys hear me? Can you say something, Lawrence? Just want to hear you on
Yeah,
Clubhouse
I
because
can
that
hear
was
you
okay.
good.
Now I can hear you. Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah. So that was a big thing, and so as we're talking about how your health can improve your wealth, I want to talk about just a quick story, in corporate America or even as an entrepreneur. So let's talk about entrepreneurs, right? When you are you're finding yourself when your health is not where it should be, you're extra tired, less productive, and honestly you're not liking the way that you're looking in the moment, right? You're just not feeling as confident. So what how does that impact your business? You find yourself not showing up on on um, on social. So you're not on Instagram, you're not on Facebook, you're not posting the way you normally should and the way you normally would, because you're not feeling as confident. And so when we're talking about mindset over mess, let's talk about what the mess stands for, right? Because we have it listed out as M.E.S.S, right? So what we get to overcome here is that mess. The M is moving from diet to diet to diet, right? Diet after diet. Every time you turn around, you're trying another fad diet. Let me try this, let me try that. Ooh, I can do this, right? You go from Weight Watchers to Jenny Craig to Ideal Protein to Nutrisystem to grapefruit diet to to the cabbage soup diet.
The
Then
yogurt diet and this and that.
right, that all eggs, whatever, right? Because you're just trying something, anything that'll help make you lose weight, right? Then the E stands for eating crap. So in between each of those diets, right, where you get so strict and you don't allow yourself to touch anything, in between then it's just like forget it, let me just go to Cheesecake Factory, right? Or let me just pop by Burger King or whatever, because now it gets to the point where it's just like I'm just going to do something. I'm hungry, let me just grab something. I don't really feel like doing this diet thing. It didn't work last time anyways. And so a lot of that has to do with the mindset. And so we're going to get into that in a second, but the S, self-sabotage. So you're finding yourself, you're on your next like health journey, and you're finding yourself self-sabotaging. You're like, oh my goodness, it's actually working right now, so maybe it shouldn't work. And all of a sudden you're doing things that don't align with this new journey that you committed to. And the mindset plays heavily into that, because what's underneath that? Why are you doing that? Where's that coming from? you know and then the S is sacrificing health for weight loss. So how many times you've done this? I know I did this a million times on my journey, because if you've ever heard me talk before, I've been on a diet. My first diet started when I was 8 years old. So sacrificing health for weight loss, that means you've tried things like the cabbage soup diet, or the lemonade diet. If you're doing it as a master cleanse, that's one thing. If you were doing it as a lemonade diet to lose 10 pounds in 10 days, like Beyonce, that was not the way to go, right? Because you probably didn't even look at the whole rules, the whole list, right?
You just
And
did
then
it because Beyonce did it.
exactly, or taking diet pills. I know I took everything from Trend Spa to Zenadrin to whatever that would help me lose the weight. So all of those things, those things, all those pills can be impacting your health. I was speaking to a woman the other day, and she mentioned that she was taking some pill that the doctor gave her, and the pills for diabetics, but she's not diabetic. She's taking the pill because it lets you lose weight, and so the doctor prescribed her the pill. I said, why would you be taking a pill for diabetics when you're not diabetic?
Mhm.
If you have nothing, if your insulin level is where it's supposed to be, your A1C is where it's supposed to be, why would you be taking this pill? What are the other side effects that you're receiving now by taking this pill that was prescribed? And so, how many times are you sacrificing your health for your weight loss? Which is more important? So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about the mess, right? And we're going to go into that even more detail as we continue these weekly discussions. So be
Yeah, absolutely. I see
Lauren, I
Carrie
need
had
you to
commented.
yeah. Oh, I need you. Can you take over for a second? I got it. I'm
Yes,
crazy time.
I think Carrie had said that she has definitely been on the diet after diet. It's been a journey to figure out what works, and losing weight. It has definitely been a barrier because it has impacted the way I advocated for myself and others. Absolutely. Um, and Benet, I hope I said your name right. She said they're doing a lot now. Medication creates the weight that contributes to diabetes. Absolutely. No one looks at the because we physically see the weight in the mirror all the time. No one actually takes in and grasps like how does this affect my weight. And I even had to advocate and had clients, family members, where I had to go toe to toe with the doctors as well, because if they see that their patient or client, this is not, to all doctors, or disclaimer, and also this is for education purpose only. But I have been on that end for personal family members as well as with my clients, because I work hand in hand with their doctors as well as therapists and everyone else, right? Because it takes a village to be able to obtain our overall well-being. I think people miss that concept. Like, we think it takes a village to be with kids. It takes a village for us too. We have so many aspects that we in our life. Who's helping you to be able? So I love that, Kari, you said that it has impacted the way you advocated for yourself and the way you show up. But no one looks at the full-on side effects, because they're just focusing on what's the biggest complaint. It's like weight, but no one looks at the deep root, the underlying root. I know with most of my clients, I have clients that have worked with nutritionists. I've been on all types of medications. Doctors have had all types of challenges, even to the point where it affected their hormones. They got PCOS. And now it's like, what is the deep cause? And a lot of it had to, like the first top had a lot to do with the mindset aspect. And that on exactly what we talked about in the M.E.S.S acronym. It was like, okay, now let's try this diet. Okay, let's try this diet. No one looked at the deep root, which is why I focus on gut health, because no one pays attention how a lot of these things interrupts your overall gut flora. Like, people who are having extreme doing alkaline diet, like if your the hydrochloric acid, like your stomach acid is too alkaline, it can't even break down and digest the way you want. So everybody's like on this whole alkaline water thing. Or,
Mhm.
like you said, everyone wants to do the Beyonce diet, the with the lemon and cayenne, and then not realizing how it can be able to make your stomach weak. Like, we want to be able to have strong stomach acids. So, and then like you said, a doctor being able to give some type of medication for someone who's not even diabetic, just for the sake of weight loss. Even birth control pills, that was where I got sacrificed. Being on birth control pills, and that was supposed to be what's supposed to stabilize my hormones to get my cycle on point, but my
Mhm.
hormones end up being jacked. And then, like, once I got off, I had to really reroute everything over. So it is important to start paying attention to the full root, and look over your overall holistic well-being. This is why I like to focus on holistic and realistic, because not all of these particular different diets work for you as a whole anyway. But if we
Exactly.
focus on the mindset concepts of what you need to start putting in place, and we do this by sharing our MAM method, MAAM. We really talk about our MAM method and what you need to be able to implement, and then you could be able to help explore and navigate what works best for you. So I love that you the in the comments, when it was like it took a journey to figure it out, because it is. And we have to be mindful and understand what the media, like, one of my biggest things and my gifts, I'd like to break
Mhm.
down complex things into simple ways of living. And the mass media, everything, they're always just trying to make a buck. They're more over profit over people.
Yeah.
So when we kind of grasp and understand that, and start really leaning in more to what you need, what your body need, and have the mindset of what is most important for your overall well-being. How, maybe like you said, you were talking about earlier, Alika, being on the go and taking quick meals or grabbing this. Like,
Mhm.
I remember heavily, like, because I worked out, I could eat what I want. Anybody who's from New York, from Harlem, I used to go to the first Planet Fitness on 125th Street. Right outside was the halal truck. I would go and get that with extra sauce, extra hot sauce, and then kick around the corner and go to Dunkin' Donuts for a milkshake. And it was just because I want something to fill me up. I didn't eat all day. I skipped meals. And now my hormones are out of range and I'm craving something sweet. Anybody Put a me in the chat wherever you are if you are one of those people who eat and then want
Mhm.
something sweet after. That is a hormone trigger that's going on. That is an imbalance that's going on, but people don't get and understand that. So those are the concepts and things that we start to gather and understand, and then you find what is the best method that works for you. So, Coach Ailika has said, the keto way, but not in like the excess fat. She learned how to eat on the outside of the structures. All these diets things can get crazy too, whether it's keto, paleo, vegan,
Mhm.
you name it. And I have done a lot of the diets. I did an elimination diet to repair my gut health, and I went vegan for a little while. But now today I eat very like conscious ways of eating. I eat eggs, I eat chicken and stuff now, and my I've been able to repair my gut health to work for that. But I had to like detox, clear out all of the things, the medications and stuff that I was on, because my body couldn't metabolize and break down the certain foods that I was particularly eating, and I wasn't making the right conscious foods decisions. That's what it's really about. So
Yeah, and you know what? That's a great point that you made too. That the medications, right? Many times when you're on different things, no one's taking consideration how that is impacting your gut, how that is impacting your metabolism, how that is impacting even your moods and your hormones. And so we get to look at that and get an understanding of it. So how is your health impacting your wealth? How can your health improve your wealth? Right? Because that's a big thing. And the thing is, when you eat clean, when you eat a certain way, and you have, I always like to talk about the three pillars, right? And we go deep into this in mindset over madness, but mindset over mess, mindset
the
over
mess
mess.
is madness and the mindset
Right?
matters. Okay.
Exactly. So you might hear me saying all of it, but we go deep into those three pillars, which is nourishment, right? So nutrition, movement, self care, right? And when you get into those things, you end up with clarity of mind because the way that we eat impacts how we think, how we see the world, and also the way that we talk to ourselves, right? Have you ever
Mhm.
noticed that when you're eating poorly, the negative talk all of a sudden is
It's
louder?
so loud.
It's screaming at you, and it's like, hold up,
Who
you
is
know,
talking to me?
yeah, you're right. You start thinking, hold up, I had all this self-love yesterday, and now that I just ate this pizza with ice cream, from Cold Stone. First I went to the pizza shop, then I turned around with the Cold Stone. All of a sudden I'm like, ooh, I don't like the way my arms look. I don't like the way maybe I'm not as smart as I thought I was. Like all of these things, because it all goes together. So when you improve your health, you improve your wealth because now you can think more clearly. I one of the things that I talked about with my clients is how in literally in 1 week time, I put together an entire program that launched my business because I'd been doing those three pillars, right? The fuel that I needed, I had that fuel. And so now when I went to create that program that really should have taken like a month or so to create. I mean, I've had meal plans, I had whole recipes and videos with every meal, like all of these things. And the reason I was able to do that was because I had that clarity, right? The brain fog is gone. When we have that clarity, our business gets to escalate, our wealth gets to improve. We are making better decisions at work, in our business. We're in because we can see them clearly, we can think clearly, we can see through the processes. And a lot of the fear and the things that tend to come up, we get to really look at that and understand where it came from because of the
Mhm.
way we're fueling the body. And so that becomes so important as you're moving toward, what do I want to do? What's my next 5 years look like? What does that look like from a business standpoint, from a career standpoint? And when we're nourishing ourselves the right way, when we're using our MAM methodology, which is our proprietary MAM methodology, when we're using that and when you really understand how that works, you get to see how it truly impacts your business and your profit, right? So we were talking about that a bit more yesterday too, Lauren, about producing productivity to produce profits, right? Because that's what it really comes down to. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, one of the things is if we learn and understand this, and this is some of the things that we'll teach in the master class. So for those who are on Clubhouse, we are having our master class that we're super duper excited about. You have two powerhouse health, wealth, and business coaches right here. And we are putting together our master class for September 27th. So if you go to wherever you guys on different platforms, is mindsetovermess.com for our masterclass, but I'll give you a little sneak peek. One of the things that we're going to break down and talk about within the masterclass is to understand that food is data. When we get that and understand how every food that you eat is data, that's like a computer. The food that you eat from the ingredients is like putting codes in to your body, and it triggers different hormones. And like where Alika said, when you eat a certain way, you start self-sabotaging and looking at yourself this way. I mean, how many of us got caught up, been at a kid's party, we had a little pizza at Chuck E. Cheese and ate this, and then later we snapping at the kids, or we have a little issue. Like, these things aren't by mistake. It's not just by happenstance. It's understanding that food is data in a way that is coded into yourself, because everything you eat gets embedded into your cells. So it is about a cellular rejuvenation that goes on too. And then when you tap that and understand into mindset, because I teach about this too when I talk about understanding chakra alignment, right? We have a physical body and we have an energetic body. And then what you eat codes and impacts both. So when we kind of, and I'm just giving y'all a little sneak peek right here, because we're going to go deep into this, but when you gather and understand that, things change massively. And I have done that. Like I said, I couldn't even be a business owner when I had poor of a diet. I always hit a platform. How many of y'all are business owners and you realize, and I've seen some people, let's just also acknowledge too, I know some people who made multiple six figures, ate like trash, but they did it out of survival mode. Okay, so that's that. But then you can't enjoy the fruits of your labor. I know many people, I work with some high level women behind the scenes, man down for a week, or have terrible menstrual cycles, and just like be like, okay, I need a change. Like this inflammation, this gas, this bloating, this fatigue, this lethargic, or things like that is super important to kind of understand. So just wanted to share a bit of that. We are super excited to be able to pour into this masterclass and give y'all to a thorough understanding of this M.E.S.S method. So again, mindsetovermess.com. You'll be able to sign up for our 2-hour powerhouse masterclass. And Alika and I are going to be able to pour in for you to start being able to adapt the holistic and realistic habits using the M.E.S.S method. I see some comments here. We are the data they use to create unhealthy food. Listen to that right there. Woo, Renee, you just hit something there. And Fergie also said, I always want something sweet after I eat. Don't we know about it? But what we understand, it is just triggers that's going on hormonally, and maybe some deficiencies that's happening. We start to gather and understand. So yeah, I yield my mic there, but I'm super excited about this.
Yes, me too. Because the thing is, it gets to be easy, right? It feels like, for so many years we have this mindset comes up that two things are hard. One is growing a business, right? Having a business, being an entrepreneur, that's hard because you've got to work a lot. And so because you're working a lot, everything gets focused on the business, and now the health falls in the to the wayside, right? Then the other thing that's hard, right? That's hard that we've been told is eating.
We're using air quotes for people on Clubhouse.
Right.
Hard.
Right.
Somebody put that in the chat. Hard with quotes around so people
Right.
understand
With quotes,
the
right?
concept, because it doesn't have to be hard.
It doesn't. The other thing is eating right, eating for your body, eating and naturally and intuitively and sustainably, right? Because when we look at a healthy way of eating, it's always been looked at as a short-term thing, right? I'm going to quote short term again, because it's always been looked at as, oh, I'm going to do this so I can get to this vacation. And it's like, you know what? This gets to be, you get to live a healthy lifestyle and feel good about it. And it gets to be easy. I don't feel like it's not, and I know Lauren will agree with me as well because we've talked about this. It's not hard to eat healthy. It is easy. It's simple to eat healthy, to eat
It's
in the
just a
right way, to eat
mindset
to nourish
shift.
the body. It's a mindset shift. Exactly.
You got to
It
catch yourself and notice your patterns.
exactly. And you can do it in a simple way, because that's the whole thing. Whenever I thought about And I know there's so many of you out here in the same boat that whenever you think about changing the way you're eating, the first thing you think about is, oh my goodness, what am I going to have to do? How much time is that going to add? Am I going to have to, go to the grocery store more, and, all these things? Am I going to have to cook more? And, there's all these things, all this chatter that comes up. And yet what doesn't come up is, how is this going to help? How is this going to improve
Yeah.
improve
We
my
miss
life,
that. We miss
improve
all
my
the things we
business?
got to do.
Right.
Hmm.
And who told you that it had to be as hard as you are making it? Like, it does not. When
There's
I tell you,
Instacart. Somebody could go and grab that. Yeah, it's like
girl,
but we have to pause ourselves because we got,
mm,
first of all, let's kind of understand a little bit with the brand. We'll be talking about this and stuff in the master class, because we got to understand the mechanics that's going on mentally too. We have to understand that our brains isn't caught up,
mhm,
right? It's still in that like caveman hard work survival mode. So instantly when new concepts change, this is why change is so challenging for us, right?
mhm,
When change and things like that comes into play, like exactly what you said, it's just like, what are the things you have to do versus what are the things you get to do that gets you the results that you've been saying you desire, right? And then when we understand that these concepts and things that we do help us to produce the profits by productive health goals and habits that produce the wealth, you move differently, right? I know for me, I was like, when I was hustling and bustling, feeling tired, lethargic, got to cut clients, can't show up, brain all over the place, and I just wasn't functioning in my like high energy self the way I need to. I started to be like, okay, I have to change some things. And I moved through stuff faster. All these things I've been able to do, like when I started cleansing, detoxing, changing the way I felt, and I felt more energetic when I wake up in the morning. It's even us putting this together. Alika was like, it just like literally like we're snapping. Y'all can't see us on Clubhouse. We're literally just snapping. It just flows. You move better.
right,
You're, and like I was talking about, we are a physical body and a higher energy. When your cells are producing at a higher level, you produce in a better way. And understand your gut health. Your gut and your brain is connected. So when you have a happy gut, you have a happy brain that can produce and function the way it needs to. So when we gather and understand that our brain is still in that like survival caveman thing, and then if we're eating the things that don't serve it, so those type of thoughts that Alika was talking about, like now I gotta go to the store, oh it's expensive,
mhm,
I gotta eat this, and all it even sounds grouchy. I don't know about y'all, but my
right,
negative voice sound real grouchy. I call him Harry. He real
mhm,
grouchy. So it's like when we gather and understand that, and then kind of like think it for his thoughts, and then start making the shift that it needs, because it is a mindset shift. And guess what, that thought will always come up in different circumstances, and then if we don't nourish our body and feed our body what it needs, it gets louder, like we talked about earlier. So when we start producing the habits, have the right spaces and accountabilities and the understanding and the shift, a lot changes. And those are the things that we're going to start breaking down, putting in perspective, so it can be a day-to-day actual living versus like a quick fix thing, and an actual long-term lifestyle habit that you catch yourself on like now I catch myself. I can't act like I don't have temptations. Sometimes I'm like, ooh,
mhm,
chips, and I want to grab the bag, and I'm like, I got fruit, I got water here, like what are you doing? And it's not to say you can't enjoy those things sometimes too. Like I said, this is the whole holistic and realistic concept. It's about the 80-20 rule, but we have to make necessary changes to break those barriers of those poor habits that affects our mindset, that affects our productivity to produce the profits, and we can
mhm.
have overall well-being, which affects to improve your wealth overall.
Right, exactly. And even just looking at, ooh, why am I wait, as I'm reaching into the pantry to grab the chips, what made me do that? Like, it was autopilot. All of a sudden, I thought, let me just go grab a chip. What was that related to? It's connected to whenever I'm working hard, whenever I'm working on something, I feel like I need to be doing this. Just those small
Mm-hmm.
habits and thinking through that is a game changer, right? It changes the way that you look at things. It changes the way that you look at life. And it changes the way that you are thinking and processing information. And guess what? Guess what? When you eat those chips, instead of it actually helping you to get the work done, what it's doing is it's slowing you down, because
Mm-hmm.
now so much more brain fog is right in here. And so those are the things that you get to consider when it comes to growing your business, when it comes to being more productive, when it comes to, improving your health overall, and when it comes to growing growing your wealth, right? Because
Mhm.
again, we're talking about how your health improves your wealth, right? We're talking about mindset over mess. And Lauren, you spoke so much about that different, all of that mess that comes up, right? Ooh, that loud, grouchy voice that all of a sudden, I can't do this. I don't want to do that. All those things, that's all a part of the mess. That's all a part of the moving from diet to diet, right? Eating crap, self sabotaging, right? So eating
And
crappy
then
food, self
sacrificing your
sabotaging
health.
for your, yep,
Hmm.
sacrificing your health
I want to
for weight
read
loss.
the people who are watching in right now. If put a
Yes.
one in the chat if you're a business owner. I would love to
Mhm.
know if you're a business owner or entrepreneur, you have, and you need to be able to show up in your best self and you want to be able to function to improve your profits, to be able to have produce profits with productive health goals to improve your wealth. I just want to know who is here and who is a business owner because we want to know how we want to make sure we're talking to the right people and who can fully relate because it takes, and I'm about to give an example, the reason why I want to know, so I'm speaking specifically to people, but it takes a certain tenacity to be able to function in your business and the things that you need to be able to do in your business. So, all right, when we have a business, right? We have this skill set and what we what we want to serve to a pain point or a problem, right? But we're not understanding that those are the things when it comes to our physical selves in our bodies, right? If we want to be able to produce profit in our business, we need to be able to produce productivity in our functionality day to day to be able to service
Mhm.
in the way that we're supposed to. Or you don't, or you get those consistent burnouts. You have those mental breakdowns. You get that lethargic and fatigue. You pick up those extra inches around your waistline. You end up having that chronic pain. You end up having to go to doctor's visits more and having to pay more money. You end up having to have be on medication and pay more. That slows
Yep.
you down. How can you be a successful business owner if your health is not intact? Health is the true wealth overall, period. Whether you are a business owner, you work, and especially if you work like, high, like some of our clients and stuff that are like principals of schools, directors of
Mhm.
programs, and they got
Yep.
to be up on their feet. They got to go all the time. So that's why they come to me and it's like, Lauren, I literally be in my office and I got to take a nap because I don't have enough energy to be able to sustain. So when we kind of understand the production side that goes on both in your health and your wealth, I mean your health and your business and your personal health is super important to kind of understand. And we can't produce it, if we're not giving, if we're giving ourselves like empty calories and dead foods that don't produce and give you back more than what you're supposed to.
Mhm.
Uh,
Absolutely. And it's so funny because um it all comes together so well. And even when you think about it as a whether you're an entrepreneur or the principal, right? Or the nurse. I had a lot of my clients were nurses,
mhm.
especially during
Ooh,
this COVID time, and they were finding themselves, working the 36 hour or I call it 36-hour shift, but 12 hours, 3 days, right?
three
They were
days.
finding the other 4 days, they were essentially sleeping, just drained, tired, couldn't even think, right? And what was funny is, or what was tough is they were tired all the time. They would sleep in during breaks. They would try and find time to just get some extra energy because the entire time they're working, they would just be eating snacks from vending machine, ordering a pizza, that sort of thing,
Coffee
and
to stay up.
coffee, right? All of those things that could, in any way, in their minds, possibly help them have more energy, especially if they're working nights. And it's just that actually was, and I remember sitting with them and telling them that's actually impeding your your success. That is actually in the way of your energy. You're going to have less energy by fueling your body in that way, by feeding your body the excess coffee. You can have coffee, but 17 cups overnight is a bit much, right? And it's
Yeah,
like, and
you're
and
stressing
then
your adrenal glands.
exactly, like the body doesn't know what to do in those spaces. And so they're finding themselves even more tired and working, working, working. And the thought is that mindset that's there is if I keep working hard, I'll make more money. So I've got to keep going, got to keep going, got to keep going. And actually, that heavy, long hours that starts impacting your income, if anything, because what happens is you start to work yourself into illness, into
Mm-hmm.
sickness,
Ooh,
into time off. I mean, how many entrepreneurs have you met? I know several entrepreneurs and nurses and some executives and who have worked themselves into poor health, and so now they had to take a leave of absence. They had to
Yep.
they had to pause. They had to step back in their business. So if you have to step back that drastically because of your health, is your working so hard, was that improving your income or was it reducing your income? Right? We get to look at that. And so your health is your most important possession, I'll say, right? That's your prized possession, right? That is your biggest area of wealth, because when your health is on point, you get to see so many spaces that you can improve your wealth, right? That's when you're able to show up for your business and show up for your clients to fulfill in the best way possible.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. I love what you said. I even had to put it in the chat when you specified like we have to get to the point that we have to master our mindset to get over the mess so that we can stop working towards illness.
mhm, mhm,
Okay? Because that's essentially what is happening when we're just putting in the pavement, and we may have some money in our bank account, but we're not, we don't have money in our health account, like in our
right.
overall well-being account. We're depleted.
Mhm,
And I've been there. I had to have that realization, and I'm thankful that I learned early. I'm thankful for the diagnosis. I think I'm very thankful for having those times where I was like excessively working and I can't feel my feet, or why is my hair breaking out, and why is this happening, why am I having long heavy cycles, why finally starting to ask those things, because I thought those things were just normal. Oh, well, genetics, my mom got that, so I guess I do too. Or, and just never
mhm,
really started to look in under the hood. It's just
mhm.
like, oh, well, I guess it clocked out. We have to understand, like, I'm using concepts of a car, right? We can get a new car. We can't get a new body, y'all. I mean, we might can get some
Exactly.
surgeries and some plastic things, but at the same time, we're not going to get the new cells or new regeneration on those things. So it's important
Mhm,
to gather and understand and get these concepts. And we love that this is what we broke down into the MAM method that we're going to be talking about in the masterclass. So if y'all
mhm,
want to, if this is good information, you're gathering understanding, that you need to make a change, you're ready to be able to understand and identify what that mess is and what are the mindset shifts that you need, and getting the direct help and support from Coach Ailika and I, definitely go to mindsetovermess.com and register for this 2 week workshop, a 2 hour workshop. I said 2 weeks, the 2 hour workshop. All right. So I'm super excited about that.
yes, me too, because our health is truly impacted by our wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Our yeah, our health truly impacts the wealth. The one thing I remember telling a client recently that we've all heard this, right? You invest in your health or you pay for your illness, right? And so as I was talking to a client recently, one of the things I said to her, because she was someone who she was working 12-hour days, she was eating whatever, barely going outside because she's working so much, right? And so she would find that it'd be 2 days and she hadn't even been outside yet. She hadn't been outside in 2 days because she's working 12-hour days. And life has just been nuts for her in that moment. And so one of the things I asked her is I said, okay, you are doing really well. The money is really coming in, right? I'm sure your account has grown and all those things. So who's all that money for? Who's going to use it? And she's like, well, one day I'm gonna be going on vacations and traveling. Are you? Because right now you're working 12 hours a day and you're eating the way that you're eating is causing your A1C, you're already borderline diabetic, right? Your cholesterol is high. And so they're talking about putting you on cholesterol medication. Your blood pressure has gone up and they're worried about that too. You're already on high blood pressure medication. So who's going to use it? Like we get to look at it in that way to say, you know what? We've got to improve our health in order to truly, frankly, enjoy the wealth, you know, in the end.
And I
Yep.
love what Benet said here. You have to be taught good health. And that is so true. And unfortunately, we
Mhm.
weren't taught. We were taught how to be able to make a lot of the mass food production companies money per se, and a lot of the things
Mhm.
that they have commercials. I always tell my clients all the time, if it has a commercial, don't eat it, because what it's probably some crap behind it overall. But we have to be taught. And then you have Alika and I collectively, her and I together have 15, almost 15 years of experience. We have to go through all this learning and understanding and certifications to learn how to eat healthy and teach others to do the same, because we weren't taught that. So we had to break old barriers and habits that we grew up and we were raised with, and be able to establish proper and productive health habits and goals, so that we can be able to produce profit and live the fruits of our labor and experience. So I love what you said. It's like, okay, after you made all this money in this account, who's going to enjoy it? Because it ain't going to be you. You're going to feel super lethargic or tired or sleeping your whole nap, or
Yeah, on a
I've
million different
had clients in
medications.
that way. Yep. I've
Hmm.
had clients in that way. So I hope that this information was very helpful. Alika and I will be here Thursdays, so definitely thankful for Black Girls Do. For those who want to stay on, definitely share this room out into the hallways. And who do you think that would need to hear this? Again, we are having our masterclass on September 27th. So go to mindsetovermess.com. And we do have a little thing. We'll close out over here, but inside Black Girls Do, we do have an exercise that we have to close out the room with. So shout out to Leah J for allowing us this opportunity. And if you want to come on up on stage, raise your hand. What you have to do is we're going to say Black Girls Do and fill in the blank. So while we're closing out everywhere, please
Hmm.
go ahead and raise
Raise
your
your
hand
hand.
so we can let you on the stage.
Exactly. And one last thing I want to mention before we close out here on YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook is that, one thing that is really important when you're thinking about, the masterclass. One of the things that we're really going to go through in this masterclass is we're going to take you through our proprietary MAM method, right? And through that methodology, we're going to work with you to shift your mindset, right? Have the mechanics, do the things that you get to do so that healthy eating, living feels simple, feels easy, and it feels sustainable. So you can do it for the long term, right? It's time to master your mindset so you can overcome all the mess. All right. So I'm so glad that you guys are here with us. And Lauren and I will be back next Thursday at 1 p.m. as well, right here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, no, not Instagram, Facebook, what's other one? LinkedIn. So me and my names, right? LinkedIn and also Clubhouse. So we will see you guys there, and definitely go and click on the Mindset Over Mess website. It's mindsetovermess.com, and check out check out the mastermind and really, or masterclass, and really see if it's something that will work for you, because I believe that it will, and share it out to people that you think that can really use this, because it's time to master your mindset to get over your mess. All right. So we'll close it out here on. Oh, go ahead. Oh, I can't hear you. You're on mute. Okay. All right. So we'll close it out here on. Thank you guys for joining. I see Kara and Dr. Tony Hampton with lots of great information and comments. Thank you guys so much for being here with us and sharing your input and stuff. And Kara, I'll see you next week in person. So, all
Yes,
right,
thank you.
in the stream. Thanks
All right.
everybody. Lauren and I will be back next week.